So it's a pretty well-known fact that if you weigh below 700 pounds, you're probably fatphobic. And if you care about your physical health whatsoever, you know, you work out, maybe you don't want to end up like Pokemon 321 Whale Lord, well, it turns out you are probably a bigot. Let's just keep it real. Now, obviously, you see I'm being sarcastic here, but there is a woman on Instagram who genuinely believes all of the things that I just said. And this lady is so out of her mind that I couldn't not make a video on this. So let's shoot for 10,000 likes on this video, and let's take a look at this post. Alright, so we got a lady blowing some bubblegum sitting down in her house or something with this caption: "If you're so certain that skinny privilege isn't real, then surely you'd have no problem becoming fat, right? No, wrong. Nothing would change in your life, you'd just be fatter." No irony, no exaggeration, that might be one of the most retarded things I have ever heard somebody say. I mean, that is just not true whatsoever. If you eat a lot of food, okay, if you stuff your mouth with little bites every single hour of every single day, yeah, a lot would change. And you saying, oh, nothing would change in your life, you'd just be fatter, I mean, you've got to be just slow, right? The first and most obvious thing that would change is I would not be able to fit into my own pants. The fatter you get, the more comparable your waistline becomes to the Earth's equator, so, you know, keeping that in mind, the pants that I would have to get would have to be like jumbo sized, and I would have to find specific stores that would supply the sizing that I need. Because yeah, as it turns out, most normal retailers don't carry sizes for humans that are so large that if we were to launch them into space, they would catch orbit and become Earth's second moon. Nothing would change, bro. I'm still so hung up on that. Dude, when I look down, I wouldn't be able to see my own feet because my belly fat is covering my FOV. You become the #1 thing that causes trampolines to break. Stop saying, oh, nothing would change. Get a grip on reality. Also, hold on. If you believe that skinny privilege is real, why wouldn't you just work out and then become skinny? If there's all these benefits to being skinny, you do realize that there are many, many steps you can take to becoming skinny and experiencing these quote-unquote privileges as you believe they are. Oh my god, I just realized how quickly her argument just entirely collapses. It sort of collapses like the trampolines that people jump on if they're above 500 pounds. You can be confident that you'd be treated the same way you always have been, in doctor's offices, on airplanes, in movie theaters, and in other public spaces, right? Okay, well obviously not, because if you are so large to the point where you're taking up 3 seats at a movie theater when everybody's trying to see The Batman on opening night, yeah, people are gonna be pissed. That's not because of skinny privilege, that's because of like morbid obesity being a nuisance. You know, if I was morbidly obese for whatever reason, I would never make it somebody else's issue, because I would understand that I'm the one who has the problem here, and I need to live my life in a way that would make it so that I'm dealing with it. But honestly, a good way to avoid all this is to strive for good physical health. Oh, and you'd so very easily receive the medical care you need, because doctors don't assume the cause of all your problems is your weight, because everybody gets the same fair treatment, right? Okay, she's obviously being sarcastic here, suggesting that fat people get discriminated against in, like, the medical field or something. And to that, I'm just curious, like, do you want help or not? Because if you are at 1 HP because all you eat is Pop-Tarts for every meal of every day, and the doctor points out that if you don't stop eating these Pop-Tarts for every meal, in the next 7 days, you're probably going to die, that's not you being discriminated against or being, you know, negatively treated different than everybody else. That's the doctors doing their job. I am deeply sorry that doctors that enter the medical field with the purpose of saving people's lives and improving people's lives are actually trying to do that for you. Honestly, how dare they? Obviously, you could expect to walk into a clothing store and find affordable, age-appropriate garments in your personal style, because there is no difference to the accessibility of clothing depending on your size, right? So another sarcastic comment here, which ironically actually proves the point I was making earlier. You know, she starts this off by saying, oh yeah, if you became fat, nothing would change. And then I guess she has a brain fart and forgets that she made that point, because now she goes on to explain why being fat sucks. Because yeah, you do have to go out of your way to find garments that are gonna fit you. Yes, that is true. You know, this point is so frustrating to hear because I'm 6'5". I am a giant. I am really, really tall, and it's hard to find stuff that will fit me. And there is genuinely nothing I can do about that. I can't change my diet to make me shorter or taller. I can't, you know, do more exercise to become shorter. I can't do anything about it. So I have to go out of my way to find clothes that will fit me too. Yes, I know what that's like. But unlike me, you have an option, okay? You can get yourself in better shape. You can literally actively take steps to make your physical form to the point where you could be able to fit into normal-sized clothes. I'm not trying to sound like I'm oppressed or something. I am balling out here, okay? It's all good, and I have plenty of clothes, but the point that I'm making still stands. I hope you guys get it. You can eat whatever you want without judgment, because everybody knows that people should be able to eat without criticism. I mean, if you want to be gluttonous, that's your choice. I'm not gonna go into your house and throw out every sugary food that you consume on a day-to-day basis. But you also have to understand that sometimes when people criticize your diet, they're not doing it out of maleficence. They're doing it because they genuinely care about you. Like, if my mom called me and said, Acheeto, I don't think you've been eating the best recently. I think that you could work on your dieting, and, you know, I care about you, I want you to be healthy, I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Like, it's a criticism, but it's a criticism that comes from a place of love. People won't make snap judgments about your health or your lifestyle just by looking at you, and won't be denied employment on the basis of your weight, because everyone's treated equally on this basis, right? So this one I really don't understand, because I don't really think that there are many positions that you would get rejected from based on your weight. I feel like most jobs that you apply to, if you're completely qualified, your weight doesn't really factor into it. I mean, maybe if you're a personal trainer or something, like, that's different. But yeah, this scenario that you're describing, I've literally never heard of. Like, do you think somebody walks into an interview room for a job and the employer immediately sees this person and is like, nah, get out of my office, you pig? I don't think that happens. I really don't. If thin privilege isn't real, why is there an entire industry that profits off the fears of people who don't want to look like me, or who are told that they have to change in order to be of value? If thin privilege isn't real, why do you have a problem with being fat? Mic drop. Wow. you are not intelligent. Okay, so just to reiterate, it's not that skinny privilege is real. It's more of being morbidly obese comes with a lot of disadvantages that you just don't want. Another point that I want to make is I've seen all of these posts in the last 2 years, all these posts about how, oh yeah, being fat is great, you know, there's no downsides to it, skinny privilege sucks, fat phobia is the worst, and I just have to scratch my head because I'm thinking, in all this time that you guys have spent trying to push this narrative that fat phobia is the worst thing ever, and that skinny privilege, oh, it's real, and it is horrible, it's evil. It's like, dude, all this time you've taken to spread this narrative, couldn't you just have taken that time and, like, got on a treadmill? Like, seriously, I mean, the lady that we just looked at wrote, like, an entire essay about this stuff. It's like, instead of writing this essay, just, like, lift some weights. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this entire problem is so solvable. In the time that you spend complaining about how you have to go out of your way to shop for quadruple XL clothing, you could have been doing exercises that would have reduced your size to help you get into, like, normal-sized clothes. Listen, just to be 100% clear, I got no issue with fat people whatsoever. I love you guys are awesome. But you see these small groups of people that do this sort of stuff, and it's just like, what is going on? You gotta say something, you know? Anybody who finds this sort of stuff empowering is genuinely special, and they are never going to get anywhere in their life. You know what I find motivational? The glow-up videos. The videos where guys will show themselves, like, a year ago, you know, where they may have been a little bit musty, a little bit dusty, a little bit crusty, and then they show them, like, a year later, and they are built like a Chad. They got the muscles coming in, they're looking great, and it's just like, I find inspiration in that. I find inspiration in knowing that, you know, you can take your life from a point in time where you're unmotivated, you don't really want to do much, and then boom, you know, the drive hits you, you get to the gym, and you're popping off. Imagine reading an Instagram post where a girl is telling you basically to eat yourself to just pure fatness, and being like, damn, yeah, that's me, dude, that's inspiring, that's life-changing. And yeah, obviously you can see how ridiculous that is, but with that all being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new here. Comment down Sledgehammer if you made it to the end of the video, and I'll try to heart your comment. Big thanks to all of my channel members. As always, you guys rock. Follow my socials, links are all down below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.